so welcome back to Motobookie. This is episode 3 of the Motobookie podcast. Real quick, want to give a shout out to my buddy Alex Ray, who has decided to join us in studio once again. We appreciate your time. Tell us about the hand, bro.
Dude, it sucks, man. So, yeah, Detroit broke my damn finger. I didn't even crash. Just case to jump, finger hit the clutch lever, and then boom, broke it in like fucking 5 spots.
So would they put a plate or something? Like what's in it?
I have like 4 or 5 pins in there, like different directions, everything, trying to just like mold it all together. But same surgeon did my thumb about a month ago.
How long?
I don't know yet.
No.
I gotta get the pins removed. So
God
I mean,
damn, bro. Just bad luck then.
Yeah,
Pretty much you didn't even crash.
No, it was just shitty luck. I mean, yes, I made a mistake. I cased a jump, but still, yeah, I didn't even crash. It's a bummer.
Was the track gnarly?
Yes, no. Yes, like the whoops are big in Detroit, not Seattle, obviously, like the weekend prior. But yeah, the whoops were big. The section that I did mess up in practice, it was a little ruddy.
Okay.
But no, like the track was pretty basic for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking to a few people after the race this weekend. It seemed like this track was a little bit, I guess, some dude from one of the video games, someone that plays a video game or some shit, designed the track.
Nice.
Thought it was kind of cool, but I don't know. It wasn't too difficult, but at the same time, I think it provided some good racing. At least the main event had some sick ass battles.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
And too, like that's the thing about Seattle, right? Like, yes, it may be a more basic track, basic layout or anything like that, but like the dirt there and the weather there, it's an open stadium. Anything can happen. So even with it being a basic track, with the way it formed, with all of the ruts, all of that, it made it gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think after so many of these events, somehow I guess it's just hard to time the weather in regards to going to certain cities. You know what I mean?
And I think this is, like everyone always says, like, why do we go back and forth, back and forth? A lot of it is weather related. But yeah, we never seem to. I think we've only had a couple good dry Seattles. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know, like
They're mostly always mutters.
oh yeah, all my years, like I've only had like maybe like 2 dry Seattles.
And when it's dry, how's the dirt? I mean, is it pretty decent when it's dry, or is it what kind of dirt is it?
Yeah, so like the dirt this year looked a lot different than the dirts in years past. I remember in 2019,
Okay.
it didn't rain, and the track was hard packed as shit. Like it was marbles, like hard packed, slick, everything. But the 2 years prior to that, it was like pretty much like a sandy base.
Okay.
Like big rocks, sandy, like it was weird, right? So yeah, I mean, the dirt seemed a little bit more hard pack ish.
Okay.
I mean, it did break down. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the typical sandier base. It had more stick and tack to it.
And the dirt works dudes, like when they are building these tracks in these different cities, they usually source the dirt from the same place. Like how do they fucking find the dirt? Like they just.
Dude, I have no idea.
No.
I have absolutely no idea. Sometimes I think that like, where the hell did they get this dirt? Like from a construction site. Half the time, like there's freaking.
So there's no like contracted company they have that says, hey, when in each city we have a contracted company that supplies us the dirt with some sort of consistency. They're just kind of like winging it.
So it's most of the time it's the same dirt. They
Okay.
keep it, like store it and do all that.
And move it from city to city?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Just locally.
Locally.
Got
They
it.
store it in each city, I guess, somewhere, right? So like it's pretty consistent that race throughout each year.
I didn't know that.
But
okay.
sometimes they will change the dirt, and other times too, like if the dirt's like super shitty, they'll sift it out and get most of the bad stuff out, I guess.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I was looking at this weekend's race, and yeah, we can kind of get into it. Dude. But I know we spoke. I think it was episode 1 you were on, and I had to ask you the $1 million question, which is Chase falling into the crash bucket? And well, I guess we can get into that in a minute. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't believe it. I lost more cash. Had him for the win, and I think I lost
it was
a total
looking
of
good.
100. No, I had 4 $25 bets on Motobookie for Sexton. I was already headed to the bank with that cash. He got out front, and I go, easy money, done deal. And then you can hear on the live feed, you just hear the roar of the crowd. And before they even switched camera shots, I told Isabella, I go, Sexton crashed.
Yeah. You know, it's the same crash over and over and over again. And I think that he's putting a little bit too much weight on his front end, maybe. And he's even in other podcasts, he's like sort of explained it, right? To the best of like his knowledge, right? I mean, it's the same crash. He's doing it every time. And yeah, I mean, he's getting too much weight on that front end, and he's just washing it. You know, it's just tough.
He stuck that one pretty good. They slowed the slow motion, and he
like,
stuck that one good.
A lot of people like they wash their front end or their front end like rolls or whatever, but dude, he's doing like full on front flips every time this happens. So like, it makes me think it's not just him. Maybe it's a bike thing, maybe it's a setup thing. I don't know. Maybe it's that bike. Who am I to say? Like, but
yeah,
it's happening over and over and over again.
All right. Well, I mean, it's unfortunate. I think at this point,
but it shows his maturity too, though. Like, I mean, he's facing the music. Like, yeah, he freaking crashed. It's all over social media all the time. It's everything that he sees, and he's like, I feel for him 100%. But the way he's taken it pretty well. I would say the same thing. You listen to some of the media stuff, and that guy's definitely like taking it on the chin. Yeah. You know, he's not taking interviews, and when he says it, he goes, yeah, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back next week. I'm going to pound out motos, and I'm going to get it figured out. I mean, eventually he will. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think the rumor is he's going to go to KTM. Who knows if that's true or not. I'm just, maybe if you don't see that type of stuff on the KTM, then I guess you can attribute it to the bike on some level. Like when you watch Coop's bike though, like it's just so like, I don't know, it's a lot stiffer. Like, okay. I mean, so Chase's bike, whenever I'm watching,
or KTM's are just naturally stiffer.
It's a little bit of both, right? Like, so like whenever I'm watching Chase's bike, his whole setup, the one that he came up with, to me it looks a little wallowy. So like whenever he's low in the transitions, or whenever he puts something on a load, it has a little bit of a wiggle.
Okay.
And I don't see that from Coop's bike. I don't see that from AP's bike. I don't see that from Barcia's bike. I don't see that from any of the Austrian brands. Now, maybe that's a WP thing. Like maybe that's just like a component thing that they're using. I don't know. Like that might just be like rider preference on that machine. But I'm curious to see, like, yes, if he does go to KTM, they know the issue that he's been having with and how much load he puts on that front wheel. I mean, they already have 52 mil forks. They already have oversized axles. That, I mean, with the frame being steel, you would think that it would flex more, but wouldn't. Like they brace and bulk that bike up pretty well. So I think that, honestly, I think it might be a better fit for him.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll have to see. Him and Jet, you would say, have some similarities in their riding style. So
I'm curious to see this summer whenever Jet gets on the 450. Yeah.
Well, while we're on the topic of old Jet, what was your take on the heat race kind of back and forth deal with McAdoo? I know you have a little bit of a different opinion, but what did you think about that?
I mean, like it was kind of like a back and forth thing, like we've seen with Deegan and them. Obviously, like they're not teammates or whatever, but like they let Kitchen get away in the heat race. Right there, I think the track was changing each lap. It was getting tricky, and they were trying to do that 3-on-off, whether they got it or not. Like it was a big a gain, right? Yeah. Whenever they did get it, and I think McAdoo, he was trying to dethrone the guy. Like he's trying to get into his head, which is, I mean, that's what he needs to do, right? That's Jet's the guy that everyone's chasing.
Yeah.
He 3'd in right there, and then the tricky part is 3ing off of that box. Mm-hmm. Into all of those ruts. So it's like a freaking cone.
Yeah, I saw it. There's like 40 ruts there.
And me personally, I think whenever he 3'd on, he caught up to Jet way too quick, way quicker than he thought. And he didn't have much room where he landed to step off. And I think he got a little bit cross-rutted. And like between him getting off and that cross rut, Jet maybe moved a little bit left, which he had the line. He had every intention to. He didn't want to cross jump anyone or anything.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, they just lock bars and just freaking go everywhere. I mean, you could tell that Jet, he had no idea it was coming.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I think that was just a little bit of impatience on Cameron McAdoo's part, you know?
Yeah, and I think impatience knowing that it's now or never. I mean, I think we can both agree that when he passes McAdoo at this point, where they're at in the series and the way Jet's been riding, Cameron probably knows I got a half a lap. And if I don't make a move within a half a lap, it's over. He's gonna pull out that 2 or 3 seconds, and here's my time to strike. It was interesting. Yeah, I see your take on it. And when I watch the replay, Cameron has the inside line, and you can kind of see Jet come over a little bit. But yeah, I could have definitely hit the brakes, or definitely tried to avoid the situation. But I mean, I like it, dude. I mean, somebody at some point is gonna need to do something. If they even want to slow down his train a little bit, someone's got to get in his head and at least rough him up, stick a wheel in on him. Yes. So
did you have money on Jet to win or no?
No, I lost another 25. This guy had, I bet a guy that had on Motobookie, a gentleman named Kofi. He had him Jet Lawrence at first place for $25. And I took the bet because I thought, you know what? Hampshire's coming off that 450 deal at Daytona. He gets a heat race win. He knows what it's like to run up front with the big dogs. So I was thinking he's gonna carry some big dick energy
straight up
into the back into the 250 class. I almost felt a little. I know this isn't the same comparison. Christian Craigish, like how he just last year he was not going to be beat. He was just like, screw you guys. I'm the older dude. I'm gonna come back down here and I'm gonna show you how it's done. So I actually was like, all right, I thought RJ had his number this week. So I lost another 25 to a gentleman named Kofi on Jet. But yeah, I mean, I had to give it a shot. So
I feel that.
Yeah, so I was looking at, I mean, how do you feel about Yoder's whole shot in the main event?
So Yoder, man, like he's surprised me this year. A lot of people saying coming into the season that he was going to do really well this season. I seen him at the practice track, but like, yeah, he looked okay, but I didn't see him doing what he's doing this year. But dude, props to the privateers this weekend for getting good starts. I mean, we've seen him get a good start. I mean, he ran up top 10 for most of the main event. I think he ended up 12th or so, but dude, props to him. And that to do that in that class. Okay, so the 450 class, it's like, yeah, we're all on 450s. I understand that. And most of the privateers have pretty good bikes.
Okay.
But the 250 class, it's like, if you're not on a factory bike, everyone's like, holy shit. Like it's
a huge disadvantage on the 250s.
Yeah, it's a huge disadvantage, right? So props to him. I think that PRMX team, they have a good platform engine wise, and yeah, dude, he's riding really good this year, and I think he's the best guy on that team that they got.
So what do you? I mean, I know that he was supposed to be part of the Geico deal when Geico went out.
Yeah, he was one of the ones who sort of got, I guess, shuffled out. You know, okay. I mean, but him and Mumford both. Yeah. You know, that they had multi-year deals there, and then that just sort of dwindled away, and that's got to do a lot for your confidence. You know what I mean? Like,
and why do you think that Mumford? I mean, why do you think Mumford's had a little bit more opportunity on the factory level, being that they both were supposed to go onto that Geico team, but it seems like Mumford has been allotted more opportunities, to try out factory bikes in comparison to Yoder.
I think Mumford just I think Mumford might be a little bit older. I don't know. Maybe not. No, I think they're both around like 20 years old.
Okay.
I think Mumford was a bit of a better amateur.
Okay.
And coming into the pros, Mumford proved himself pretty well in outdoors.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't get a shot in Supercross. Yeah. And granted, I think that he would have struggled had he not. I think he would have struggled. I did for the first couple of years. I'm pretty close with Mumford. And he was a big part of that Bar X crew.
Yeah.
The Suzuki team there, and he made the proper I trained with him a little bit last year. We had the same trainer, and he made a lot of strides forward. He built he struggled with whoops, right? He built a whoop pad at his house, just berm whoops, and he would just ride it all day. Just smash them all day, and he got better at that.
Yeah,
he's working on his weaknesses, and I think that a lot of these amateur kids, they just they don't do that. They just go out there, they'll pound motos, but they don't work on the things that they need to work on, and that's one of the things that Mumford did. He's seen that, and he's clawing his way back, and now he knows. Like, I feel like he appreciates it a lot more because I mean, you think about it. He was a Geico kid for like what 5 years. Before that, he was a pro circuit kid. Like he was, I don't want to say spoon fed,
Yeah.
but like he
knows what it's like though.
Yeah, he knows what it's like, and then he kind of got a bit of a reality check whenever he was on Bar X and Michael Lindsay's Honda team. Not having any fucking race gas or anything on the weekend or something. You know what I mean? And then like going from Geico and then going to that, it's like, hey, it's a big
jump.
Humble, you know, and I think that it was good for him to go through that.
Nice.
Yeah. And now with him being on a pro circuit bike, yeah, he's had some injuries. But yeah, I think that's what he needed.
So you think, I saw the heat race. He looked good.
Yeah.
He looked really real good in the heat race.
He's only had, I think, 5 days on the bike.
Yeah. And that's what I was telling somebody. I said, hey, I didn't expect a whole lot. I had him, I actually made money on Mumphy. I think I had him 7-11, and that's why I figured he would come in. I figured if he did get out front and get a good start, I didn't think he could last the whole main event. Probably like you said, limited time on the bike, just kind of nerves and everything else. But he definitely looked pretty good. You think you think he stays with PC? You think it's something a little bit more long term, or you know what I mean? Like, you think they're going to give him a shot to just really get healthy and see what he can do?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, it all sort of depends on Faulkner and Jet Reynolds, right?
I heard from a guy that's actually pretty close. I wouldn't say pretty close, but he's definitely in the know with some of the guys at Cowie, some of the mechanics, and he said that he don't think that Jet Reynolds will ever ride a professional race. He said he doesn't ever see him riding a professional race.
Yeah, he's had some pretty rough injuries on his wrist. Yeah, I mean, I think him and I have the same surgeon, but that surgeon's good. So,
but I mean, he's never actually. I mean, he's done like
he did a press day, and that's whenever he got hurt.
And he got crashed on the press day.
He got hurt. It's a bummer deal, man. Like sometimes, these kids, they grow up, and you think it's like it's a sure thing, right? And then something like that happens, and they never really get back to where they were, and it's a bummer, right? So yeah, I don't know. I hope that he has. I hope they give Mumphy a shot this summer because I think he can do some good outdoors.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one race last year. I forget which one, but he hole shotted on the Suzuki.
Yeah,
and he was like out there.
He's a good starter, man.
Yeah, he can get some starts, and especially on the Suzuki, he was ripping. But on some of the other 250 news that came in, so it said RJ said in an interview he confirmed he got another deal for the 250.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not moving up. So if you had to look at it next year, let's say him and Shimoda are on the same coast. How do you feel about that? Because they were on the broadcast. They were saying, oh, if he's riding 250s next year, that RJ's definitely the title favorite. And I was like, I don't know if Shimoda's in there. I don't think he's the title favorite in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say put Shimoda in there. To me, like when you watch RJ ride, like between him and McAdoo, like they make a lot of mistakes, and I don't see that from Shimoda. Yes, he was hurt. He got hurt this year. It was a collarbone, but like
other than that, he's always pretty smooth. He's got a nice style.
Yeah, nice style. You don't see very many mistakes. So I feel like in a title fight, you need to ride like that versus maybe RJ gets it done, right? Maybe he does. But I see too many mistakes from RJ for a title fight next year. Yeah,
like race winner, but picking it up off the ground.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of what I had for the 250 stuff. I just, it wasn't overly exciting. I was watching the main event with my daughter, and Jack got out front, and I go, kind of this one's over. I do like the battle with RJ and McAdoo. I thought that a good little battle.
It was
there.
Good. It was good. They were like tooth and nail. It seemed like forever, man. Like
that RJ pass was sick, dude. I watched it again. He's on the far outside, and he just cut straight across.
So, yeah, man, like that was huge level commitment, bro. And if I'm McAdoo, I'm pissed at that lapper.
Yeah. Oh no, the lapper was in the middle of him, right?
Yeah. But like RJ, dude, he just squared up that turn and he went for it.
Oh, I saw it, dude. He rode across like 3 ruts, and it literally, I was like, I thought he was gonna clean him out. I'm lucky that he didn't. But so, all right, dude. Let's. I wanted to touch on something I thought was super cool. So I was watching this other interview with Coop, and he made a comment. The interview, the journalist was like, hey, how do you feel about this 3-rider battle that you have going on. And his exact words were like, dude, I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. I thrive on it and I love it. And this is where I want to be. Then you hear another interview where Eli, and you could clearly see he's not, that's not his,
He's stressed.
that's not his strong point. And
Yeah.
he was very vocal. He goes, no, dude, I'm more of like, I like the 10, 15, 20 point cushion
More
where
boring.
I know
like,
where I'm at.
exactly.
So, I mean, you think he genuinely enjoys that, or you think that that's just just a straight up psychological warfare on Coop's part?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything is mental with Coop. Like, I think that he's so mentally strong. He thrives on this shit.
Okay.
And I guarantee you that he's looking at that interview with Eli, and he's like, I fucking got his ass.
Yeah. And I thought this weekend, so I had some money on Coop. I lost some money on Coop, unfortunately. I had him for the win.
Yeah.
And when Eli got out front and Coop was in second, I was like, oh my, okay. I think he's gonna get him. But this is one where Eli held it on and kind of just didn't really make any big mistakes. And and about 3 or 4 minutes left when the broadcaster goes, yeah, I think he's checked up. Like he's just went ahead and conceded the win. I for a minute I thought Coop was gonna get him, and then towards the end of the race. Towards the end of the race, I was like, Jesus, dude, Barsha's reeling you in horribly. So as a racer, you think Coop was marking him and knew exactly where he was at the whole time? Because, man, that last lap, I was like, oh, boy. This is getting a lot closer. Or, I mean, as a pro rider, you have the opportunity to know. You think he knew where he was at?
Yeah, 100%. Like he's always keeping a check. Like, you go over a jump, you can feel where the person is. You can see where they're at. I think he knew where Barsha was, but like whenever you go back to the beginning of the race, Coop and Barsha had terrible starts. They were like 9-10.
Yeah,
and they both just clawed their way back, made all those passes, and then it seems like okay, you lose track of time. I don't know what 4 minutes goes by and Coop's in second. Like, wait, what just happened here? Because you had Chase going down, and then they had to go through Kenny, and then Anderson, all those guys. And it's cool to see, like I'm curious to be like where Anderson is like in his whole like headspace right now, because like coming into the season, he was a main event winning guy. Like that's what everyone was talking about. Like, yo, Anderson's ripping at the test track and he's going to fire off some race wins. We haven't seen it, right? We haven't seen it. And I feel like no one was talking that way about Barsha. No one.
Yeah.
And I feel like now Barsha has sort of leapfrogged in front of Anderson, like position-wise.
Yeah.
And I feel like Barsha is now that podium guy that I feel like maybe Anderson should be.
Correct. So, and you're right. Like, Barsha's not the fluke podium guy right now. He's the guy that should be on the podium.
He's the guy who's racing his way into the podium.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
So, the thing with I made money on Barsha, so I was on Motobookie. I had Barsha at third. I didn't know that he was in for the win on this one, but I did feel like a third. The other one you had mentioned a minute ago was Kenny, and he's my 4-6 lock, dude. I think I've won money 5 weeks in a row, with the exception of the one he won at that 4-6 bet. So once I saw him dart after Eli, and then kind of just didn't see that he could commit and make that pass, I was like, okay, he was going after Eli at the beginning, and then you just slowly started watching him fade back. I got a question for you. So, watching AC, I watch him very closely because he's actually one of my favorite riders. And you see by lap 2 or 3, the jump line in the whoops. You think with healthy wrist, elbow, arm, I mean, clearly that is him doing that with the intention of preserving energy or having the arm not go numb. Because I know that at his level, he's fully capable of blitzing the whoops. But if you look at him, even in the qualifying, like I think if AC had the ability to blitz the whoops every lap comfortably, man, he'd be up front, because everywhere else on the track, he doesn't lose a bunch of time. It's the minute he gets to the whoops, there's no commitment, and I'm sure it has to do with that injury.
Yeah, I think that has a little bit to do with it. Maybe it's just like I would say not. Let's see, what is it? Shit.
Is it
I don't know.
The nerve?
No, like a dangerous factor, right? Like because
Because he doesn't want to risk it.
He's been hurt so much. He just wants to do the laps. Like he's like, okay, well if 8th place is all I got tonight, that's what I'm gonna do. 10th place, all I got tonight, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit the same line every lap. I know I can do that consistent at this jump line, and I think I can just go to the house on that. Because all I need to do to get better right now is to do all the laps each week and be at every single race.
And having said that, you think Kawasaki keeps him?
Yeah. Oh yeah, his deal's already done.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
A couple more years.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be there. Dude, Cowie's invested so much money into that kid. They're not letting him go.
All right. I mean, you see it now.
He's still capable of fucking going fast, man.
Well, dude, he was in the time qualifying and he was right there. He had the top spot for quite a while, and then Sexton took it. But you just see him come around. He's a good starter.
Yeah.
I mean, man, he can get some starts. It's not like you really never see him in 9th, 10th, 11th place starts. But yeah.
I think Kawasaki loves him. You know, I think that he's a great. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't like to feel this way, but I think he's a good second tier, like racer on the team,
like
right?
Like a B racer,
like a B guy. You know, because
Anderson to say that, dude.
Anderson, I guess they know that, like, hey, he wants to win. We want him to win. So Anderson, I feel like, would be like the A guy, and AC's a good B guy, and he's doing what they ask right now. I mean, AC has been that A guy, but with these injuries, I mean, unfortunately, right now, he's the B guy.
And Anderson, you think he gets another deal with them, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think
Anderson.
I mean, I personally don't know, but I think that he's pretty close to getting his deal done for another year over at Cowie.
At Cowie.
Yeah,
okay.
at least another 1 year, because we're still a couple years out on that whole Triumph deal on 450. So,
okay, yeah, and I saw some of the stuff on Triumph, which is the kind of switching gears. So one of the interviews that came out said they were looking at Swole possibly going over there. During that same interview, they were trying to get Shimoda. That Shimoda's deal's up, so they were going to throw a bunch of money trying to get Shimoda and then possibly Mosman. So according to this interview, like a 3-man 250 team would be Swole, Shimoda, and Mosman if they could put that together. But I don't know. I mean,
I think we'll know more after Atlanta Supercross.
You think so?
Yeah.
How come?
That's I think where they're going to be showing bike. Yeah, I think that's what.
And what I don't know.
Because that's like the hometown. That's where it's all at. Like it's all Triumph there in like Atlanta or something.
And will the bike? I'm sure I'm way behind on this because I'm not the fucking industry insider, dude. You know what I mean? But what is the bike going to feel or look more like? An Austrian bike? Is it going to look more?
I have no idea.
No clue.
No clue. I heard they might be going with some KYB stuff, like suspension wise, like same as like a Yamaha, suspension. Like what's on your YZ?
Okay,
that's the type of components would be on there. But other than that, I have absolutely no idea. They have some great people working on it. They got some great people, like, I mean, some of the best, right? I mean, Ricky, Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, that'll be pretty cool. I mean, the industry could definitely use another manufacturer.
Yeah, no, hey, that's just more jobs.
More riders.
Yeah, more riders on the track. All of it.
So, one other thing I want to get to real quick was, because we got to talk about it. What was up? I like Coop's Matumbo. Not
his little pistol whip, dude.
No, bro. He gave him the finger deal, like the finger wag, bro. You remember one of the NBA players used to throw up the finger wag? Matumbo used to do it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they slowed and showed Mosin, dude, and he looked back and gave him the old, like, nah, not happening.
See, I thought it was a little pistol whip.
No. He didn't pull out the fucking pistol on this one.
You didn't?
That's what I was. No. I watched it in slow motion a number of times, and he kind of just reached around and gave him one of these, like, not in this race.
Not in my house.
Bro, like.
Not in my house. Hey, it's all mental with Coop, dude. I'm telling you, bro. He is so the most mentally strong, and he toys with these dogs, bro. He toys with them.
And you just think, I mean, even though you would think, God, how does he do that?
Dude, it's the mind games, dude. It's like
knowing
he's in a
Sexton
title fight with these
coming.
guys. Yeah, he's in a title fight with these guys. He's like, dude, I don't have to be faster than you to beat you.
Fuck,
like,
dude.
bro, like he's qualifying 8, 9, 10, like throughout the day. Like they're like, oh yeah, we got Coop tonight. Like he's struggling. Nuh-uh. I mean, he even said it on the podium. He said, "Hey, when the gate drops, bullshit stops."
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
Straight
that.
up.
I saw that, and I was like, man, that's super sick, bro. He gave him the finger wag, and I was like, here we go. Looking at my notes real quick, what are your thoughts on you think Barcia wins a race by the end of the year? Judge, I mean, you know the tracks better than anybody. I mean, I'm not the type to know what tracks are coming up and where he may be strong. But
East Rutherford would be his, I would say, closest
from
home
New
race.
York, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. East
okay.
Rutherford, and then that race usually gets pretty ready.
Okay. You think he wins one though?
Hard to say. I mean, we're getting down to the end. Hard to say. Very, very hard to say.
All right, I'm gonna put
some money on it.
No.
Put some cash on it.
You look me up on Bookie, bro. I'll put 25 that Barcia wins next weekend. I think I'm not next weekend. Sorry, the following, the Triple Crown. I think them short dashy pin it, just send it races. I don't know how good he's done in Triple Crowns. I'm not a fucking stat master, but what I can tell you is, like I just feel it's coming, dude. And I heard some crazy shit, dude. I was listening to some other podcasts, and they're saying, "Oh, dude, he's just trying to rip right now because it's a contract year." And, he's right at the, and I go, no, dude, I don't believe that these guys train and put in the level of commitment that it takes. And then all of a sudden, because they're in a contract year, they're going to try to start winning. Because I know that all the fucking bonus money and all the money is in winning. So
yeah, everyone's on a contract year this year. So I mean, shit, everyone's cleaning everyone out. It seems like, but I mean, it's like.
But most of these dudes at that level, they're not racing for their base salary, right?
No.
They're like the big cheese is in the
1,
bonuses.
2, 3, yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah. That's where the money's made right there.
Yeah. So I mean, look, see me on there, Bookie, bro. I'll take Barcia. I'll put a $25 bet. And then the next one of the other things real quick, I saw Seeley in qualifying, and then I watched him in the heat race, and I made money on Seeley.
Yeah.
Yep, I had him 16-21.
There you go.
I was like, no, I don't. I just don't think
you almost didn't there.
Almost didn't.
Yeah,
no.
Cade would have got by him, and then he'd have been 22nd.
I'd been 22nd. I would have lost money on that one. But yeah, I looked at Seeley, and because he's from around here, he's from Thousand Oaks.
Hell yeah.
And so I go, no, man, I just don't think, even with his skill, that you're gonna just suit up, after being off for that long. And I go, if you even look at the names that are 11 through 20, they're fucking badass.
Yeah, they're
dude.
badass.
They're not just like random dudes that are, coming from fucking Glen Helen and decided to sign up for the Supercross.
Yeah, this is a race winning. This is Cole Seeley that we're talking about. I mean. I guess he's getting ready for a little bit of World Supercross. I watched a little bit of practice. They had like the camera on him a little bit. He looked a bit out of sorts. Like he looked a bit uncomfortable.
Okay.
A lot of it was coming fast to him maybe, but I mean, that just takes time, right? I mean, when's the last time he lined up for a Supercross? It's been a couple years, I mean, he's done some some off stuff. Like he did World Supercross last year. He did a couple of like those straight rhythm events, and he'll do some cool events around here. But like he hasn't.
Not a 20-minute main, bro.
That ain't a 20-minute main. You're right. You're right. So
it's different
for him to take all that time off to come back and finish where he did, that says something. Like he's a very talented dude.
No, he's extremely talented. I made 2 bets on him. The 16-21 bet I won, and then I had another guy bet me that he'd beat Josh Hill. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I go, unfortunately, dude, Hill's been riding all week.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Bet. He's been riding all year.
He got 10th last weekend.
Oh, no, I saw it.
But was you sweating it whenever like Hill was in the LCQ?
I was. So
like,
when he went to the LCQ, I was like, but I thought he had it covered in the LCQ.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, dude, and I'll just be honest with you, because I of course have followed the sport my whole life, but I didn't understand the situation with his brother stepping away, and then his brother becomes a cop, and then he's like, screw motocross. They're all a bunch of dipshit. Like, I didn't know. Yeah. He didn't really have the most nicest things, I guess, to say about the industry when he left the sport. Dude, I didn't realize how his brother's a fucking badass, dude. Like, he's like the real deal. Like, if you put that guy on factory equipment, I'm not saying his team's not a factory team, but if you were to put him on factory equipment, I mean, that's like a top 7 guy every weekend. Or is this just a fluke deal, or is he really that talented?
No, he's really that talented, and he's had factory rides in the past. We're talking about.
Did he win a title?
Yeah,
Justin Hill, right?
Yeah, Justin Hill.
A 250 title.
He
right?
won a 250 title. Yep.
Okay.
Whenever he was on pro circuit, and then he rode for JGR the next couple of years after that. I think. Yeah, I mean, so he's had factory rides. The issue with him, right, is just what Justin Hill shows up.
Okay.
On the weekend, but this year, he's having more fun. I mean, he's got his family there. This was one of his home races, or I mean, this was their home racer from Oregon. So like, yeah, man, like, yeah. I mean, I think he's just having a little bit more fun, right? Like, so like the past couple of years, I know last year he got dealt some bad hands. He rode for a team and he got hurt. It was pretty unfortunate, but like now, like I feel like he's actually having a good time at the races, and it's showing. The results are showing.
And the dude that owns that team, it's probably once again another dumb question, only because I don't know the inner workings of the teams and shit. What does that team do? Like how do they make their money with a team? What is it? Team Tedder, right?
Yeah, Team Tedder.
What do they do? Is it a construction company? I know people are gonna blast me like, "Hey, bro, you should follow the sport better." But where's the funding background from that team? Because it seems like
it comes from the Tedder family.
Okay, and what do they do?
I want to say it has something to do with some type of like electrical.
Okay,
like a big or maybe that's not or nuclear or something. I don't fucking know. NASA.
So that's exactly what I wanted to bring up was really cool to maybe see some sponsorships of that level that come from outside the industry.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I kind of thought it was. I did a little bit of research, and I think it's something up the alley of what you were talking about. But it'd be super cool to just see these type of, let's call them satellite teams. I don't know the right definition, but, come on board to the sport and develop teams like that. Cause they look like they have a lot of fun over there, dude.
Yeah.
I went by their pit.
Bro, it's
loose,
a huge
bro.
party. Yeah, no, it's a big
fun,
party.
Bro.
Yeah, no, it is. Like they always have big groups of people over there.
A lot of catering.
I think that's a big like Monster Energy sponsorship as well. Like with that, and they always have like a big appearance there in the pits for sure.
Well, dude, hopefully I'd like to see them come back again, dude. I think they're good for the sport.
They've been around for a long time. I mean, whenever you see the rig, you see all the whole Tedder family. I mean, I raced with Matt Tedder and like some of the kids of the family.
So it's a racing family.
Yeah, it was a very, very big racing family.
Good for them. Dude.
My dad actually raced with the actual Matt Tedder, like the dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well, dude, all right. One more thing we got to hit real quick is what do you think about Moran's whole shot? Dude, I know it didn't go well.
No, I mean, privateers getting good starts, man. Like that's what we've seen in Seattle, and I love it. Like I think it's badass, right?
So it's fun. I had a.
It'd have been better if it was me, though. Fuck.
Well, yeah, fuck, dude. Are you kidding me? So I was able to talk to him today because we helped do some sponsorship, and shout out to Moran. He sent me my helmet. We sponsored him for the Arlington round for the Motobookie sponsored him. And so I was like, hey, man, you're sick, bro. And I go, come on. Like, what happened? You just timed the fucking gate perfect. Like, what happened? And he goes, I'm riding a 2022 bike stock, just how I got it, motor-wise, completely stock with a clutch. And I go, okay, dude, did you just time the fucking gate right? Like, you can't just tell me, bro, that...
Those are good starting bikes, though, by the way. Yeah, those are really good.
And he was just saying, dude, he goes, no. He goes, I think I got kind of the right finesse of the clutch down, dude. He goes, I just, he whole shot of he raced too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a good starter ever since he turned pro. Like,
but what are the factory guys? Not to cut you off, but what are the factory? I mean, it's not very common, right? Like you're taking a guy that's riding a $25,000 dirt bike, and then the other dirt bikes, the factory bikes, what, $100,000 for one of those factory bikes. With all that R&D and stuff, you got to look at him and go, God, that's got to hurt, dude. No, to see a dude just rip a whole shot like that.
Fuck, I don't even know. Like it's either you're a good starter or you're not. It's like one of those things. Like fuck, like you'll get some of the most gnarliest factory dudes with the most amazing results, like of their careers and everything, never get good starts. I mean, fuck, Mike LaRocco. You know, like if you think about these fuckers, like you're either a good starter or you're not.
Yeah, it's
like
like a
either you
Lessie.
got the shit or you ain't got. Yeah, like just
Almost
like a
a
Lessie.
Lessie.
Yeah, like a
God,
Lessie. And I feel like Moran's like, dude, he always gets good starts. He's always up front. I mean, if you look at his qualifying times, dude, he's anywhere from like 20 to 35. Like he's not a good qualifier. But whenever the gate drops, the fucker's up front.
God, dude. He said he was stoked, dude. He goes, I fucking ripped that thing. And
Hell yeah.
I was like, dude, congratulations. So good for him. But I mean, I look back at you know, that race as a whole, and I just think that Eli did his thing on that race, dude. Like I rewatched the main event with Isabella today, and he once he got out front, he managed it. No big sketchy moments, bro.
Crazy rebound from last week to this week.
And so I mean,
that's just typical Eli, though, right? Like everyone like thinks like, oh, dude, like what's going on, and then he just fucking fires off a win.
Well, I was listening to I listened to some of these live shows, bro, like some of these podcasts, and they'll go live. And one of the dude had a guest pop up on this thing, and he goes, dude, here's my conspiracy is that Feld fucking, you know, paid him money, you know, to kind of not do so well in a couple of rounds to keep the title super, super close, you know, in order to gain viewership.
What
you know,
fuck?
no, this guy had
for
this
sure.
fucking like long-winded conspiracy theory that the last 2 weeks were just basically him giving, you know, to keep the points close for viewership and to bring views to the show. And it was funny, dude. This guy wrote, I'm not exaggerating, like a 4-page thing about how he had a conspiracy theory about Feld. And I was just like, this guy's
like
gotta be fucking
WWE.
insane. That's what the guy said. The guy was on live. He goes, no, bro, the Supercross isn't WWE. They don't do that shit. I was like, no, dude, I'm convinced Feld. How did he just come back and win like that? I'm like, dude, he already explained it to you. He fucked his neck up or he slept wrong.
Yeah.
And then the guy on the live goes, you know, have you ever ridden a dirt bike with a fucked up neck? The guy's like, no, never. It's like, okay, then you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This like there's some crazy internet conspiracy theories, dude, when he doesn't do good.
Oh my gosh.
But all right, dude. So the next one, Triple Crown. Give me your podium, bro. Give me your podium. Let's close it out with who do you think shows up? You got a little bit of a break.
I'm gonna go Coop for the win.
Okay.
Eli's good at these Triple Crowns, but I don't think he's gonna get it done. I think he's gonna have one bad race, but he's still gonna end up on the podium. I think he's gonna have like, I'm gonna go Coop, Eli, and then I'm gonna go Anderson.
Coop, Eli, Anderson.
Actually, no, I'm gonna go Coop, Eli, AP.
Okay.
AP, I mean, it's not a rutted track. Everyone's like, oh, dude, like AP's super, super good at rutted tracks. I'm like, dude, what I seen at Detroit, like it was a little bit more of a harder pack track. Yeah, there was some ruts in it, but if the track has good flow, AP will be up front.
All right. So ARay's Motobookie podium is going to be Coop, Eli, AP.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're going. So
straight up.
All right, dude.
We're gonna put some money on that.
Okay. And with 250, I mean, are you even willing to? I mean, hey, Jet's not very good at the Triple Crowns,
he's not.
And Levi got him last time. So,
Yeah.
but if you're putting your money down on Motobookie, you running with Jet.
Yeah, I'm going with Jet. I'm
Can't
gonna
bet
put my
against
money. Yeah, you can't put no money against.
right.
I'm gonna put Kitchen on the podium though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Kitchen on the podium, and I'm gonna keep McAdoo there, but I don't know if I'm gonna put RJ on the podium.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna go Jet, Levi, and either Hampshire or McAdoo.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll make my Motobookie prediction. So my podiums, I'm going with Barsha. I'm a man of my word. I'll go Barsha, Coop, and Sexton. I think that's where I'm at. I think Sexton.
Wait till you see the dirt at Phoenix. You won't go freaking Chase Sexton.
You think another?
And he's gonna watch the front end somewhere
Again?
I don't know.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
like I hope not, but I mean, with how slick and freaking ice the dirt is in Phoenix, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick with that.
Are we going?
I'd love to go.
Let's go.
Okay. No problem, dude. I can book us some flights and go.
Okay.
I'm down. Okay.
I was gonna drive, anyways.
No, dude. We'll fly.
Okay.
I don't like driving, dude. I can't stand it.
I fucking hate
My
it.
furthest fucking trip of a road trip is like from here to Glen Helen. And
Bro.
I'm over it.
Shit, bro.
Yeah,
I put 400,000 miles on my van.
$400,000 on what kind of van?
It was a Chevy. It's just like the Chevy freaking 1500 Express van. Yeah.
400,000. So
Supercross and outdoors, dude. A couple years Supercross and outdoors, just fucking.
You went to every round in a van?
Most every round, yeah. Dude, it used to be nothing for me to like whenever I was doing training in Nebraska, it was nothing for me to just fucking wake up and drive 10 hours each way. Like,
bro, that's insane. I'm 43 years old, about to be 43 next month. I don't think I've driven 400,000 miles in my life, bro.
Fuck.
That's a lot of fucking miles, bro.
Yeah. I would wake up. I'm like, hey, Dad, going to California.
Well, dude.
All right, bud.
So, I mean, dude, I can't even
drive
imagine
straight.
that.
Yeah, just drive straight there. I mean, I hate it. Don't get me wrong, but like, if you want to race, you want to ride pro stuff, like you got to get there fucking somehow.
God, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I remember I went to Budds Creek, Maryland. Okay. Like I drove there from who knows when. I think I was living at Club, during the week, and I would drive to the races on the East Coast because it was a lot closer. I didn't have money for a hotel. I took one of my buddies with me. He was my mechanic. He helped me out. I think he met me there. I drove there. I slept in my van in the pits on Friday night. It was cold. Like, for some reason, it was like super cold and dewy and everything. Slept great. Next day, like, rode decent, whatever. But like, it was so hot. I dehydrated, just fucking shriveled up, cramping everywhere. Had to get an IV and everything just to like fucking get out of the place. Dude, drove home. Like, fuck.
So, I mean, I guess I got to ask you real quick before we end it. How, with the privateer, like, kind of, what it costs to get you from round to round, if you have a really good year, what do you net positive? Let's just say, like you just said, let's just say you're doing the van.
Depends if I'm on a team and team's paying expenses.
Okay.
Or not.
Okay. So as a privateer, though, I mean, and not to get too much into your personal business, on the privateer side of things, what do you think the best year you've ever had financially?
I would say probably like 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
Yeah.
that's so you were doing well.
Yeah,
getting paid
that's
from
when I
your
was
sponsors.
doing. That's when I was doing well, right?
Okay.
Like, you make 100. Let's see. Make 100. Probably spend 30.
Okay, so you're to the good 70.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you got to think out here in California. Like, if you're not at a test track, you still have to pay $65-$70 to ride Supercross track, and then you gotta, if your team's not paying for your race gas, you gotta get some race gas, or you gotta pay for a practice mechanic to work on some of your shit like that you don't fucking know about. You got shit blowing up left and right. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of shit you got to think about. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say anywhere from like my best year would probably be 75 to 100.
Okay. So I think the unfortunate part, we won't go drag it out too long, which is something you and I've discussed at great lengths, is it's interesting that the higher ups, whether it's Feld or whoever the higher beings are of this sport, that they don't realize what benefit the privateers bring to the sport as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the 22-man gate, what are they, 11 of them factory riders? You had to guess?
Yeah.
11 seats?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, now, yes. At the beginning of the year, there was a little bit more.
Okay, so let's say 15?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 15 riders, or, your factory riders, and then to make up the other, how many are on an entry list? 60 people show up to the race to try to make the main event. I just think it's unfortunate that they don't somehow incentivize, because there is a lot of people that show up to the races that are actually bigger fans of the privateer setting. You'll see them and they're walking around getting the privateer autographs and going and talking to them than waiting in line to meet Eli or meet Chase. And you would just think, with the amount of money that the sport generates, which everybody says, sport don't make a bunch of money. Yes, it does. Bullshit. The sport makes a bunch of money.
You think they just pulled $40 million out of their ass for this purse?
That's what I'm saying. And that's my point is, so you take a fraction of that money, let's just say, no, let's give $1 million a year back to, the top 10, the top 15 privateer riders in order to build a bigger pool of riders, that show up to the event. Cause there's a lot, dude, you sold out stadiums. They're not all there just to watch the factory guys. I mean, there's guys on that I watch Supercross with. They're actually trying to watch the battle from 11th to 20th. Cause they're like, that's where the real fucking racing is. And so I was thinking the other day when I was talking to this guy, I go, man, it'd be kind of cool. Like, let's just say the 22-man gate, the other 20 guys that didn't qualify, fuck it, just let them run. I'm not dissing it, but I don't like the KTM Junior program, right? Every single time that comes on, if you're at the stadium, I feel bad for the little kids. It's cool and all, and don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. Everyone gets up to go get beer. Yeah. Sit and watch it, dude. Yeah. It's cute, but no. Take that out or make it, put it somewhere else in the segment of the night and run another main event of
like a B main.
A B main.
Yeah, B main.
Because that'd be the most fucking entertaining thing.
People just
you could watch all night long.
Killing
exactly, and I never understood.
It's like a glorified LCQ, just like a fucking.
But hey, and it don't need to be 20 minutes.
No.
It's an 8-minute race, and the winner gets $5 or $10 grand. He doesn't get $100,000 like Eli and them. That would be the most entertaining and at least give those guys an opportunity to get a little bit of TV time, which does what? Allows them to go out and drag in some more sponsors. I just feel they use the time filling the night show with so much bullshit that really I would love to see. Okay, give me 23 through 40.
Yeah.
It's a 17-man gate. And you know what? It's a 10 grand purse for the winner. And that's peanuts in the grand scheme of things. I just don't understand why. At least help those guys out that didn't maybe make the night show. Dude, they're down $2 or $3 grand just to get there.
Yeah.
And what's happening is you're slowly seeing that pool of riders disappear.
Yeah.
Which is not good for the sport. No, and I just don't want they don't run like a B main.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be a great idea. They do that at the Des Nations. I feel like,
okay.
Yeah, they do that the Des Nations for dirt bikes and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I just think, dude, like it's unfortunate that some of these kids or some of these guys, they give their entire lives to the sport.
No, we do,
dude. And
we do.
And I don't think you guys realize how much money you're making other people.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right. Like it's kind of sucks. It's kind of like slave labor, right? It's like fuck, dude, show up, put your life on the line. Oh, and by the way, bro, we'll give you fucking $300 for showing up. It's like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for B mains.
Okay,
I feel like it would be great.
All right, so I did create no new idea. I just thought in my head, like, why not throw those guys out there? It'd be the most entertaining thing ever. Fucking T-bones and cross jumps. And not that you wish for that things for people to get hurt, but at least give them an opportunity to get out there and make a few bucks before they go home.
Oh, yeah.
But at least that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But,
hell yeah.
Well, dude, thanks very much for coming in, bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
I really, really appreciate it. And,
I love this shit, man. Like, I love just like the banter, like freaking hearing about you losing all the damn money, all these bets that you're making. I lost money too. But hey, I did make some money, right?
Yeah. Oh no, you made some money.
I had what? AP beats Christian Craig.
AP beats Christian Craig. I bet you after the heat race you were sweating a little bit. After Craig pulled off the heat race win.
Yeah.
How do they do that? Like, you once again, I know everyone's gonna message like, who this fucking clown doesn't even know how they separate the heat races. But I don't look into the sport that much. It seemed like one of the heat races, that second heat race. Had like everybody.
Hard as fucking shit.
Had fucking everybody.
So, all right. So, odds go to even go to odds. So, like.
Got it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
okay.
Time qualifying. So, if you qualify first, you're going to the second heat race. If you qualify second, you're going to the first heat race. You always want to be in the first heat race because you would think that it's slower guys. So, in first heat rates, it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah.
Okay.
You get the
Yeah. I get it. Okay. Well, now that you explained it to me, I understand. So, it just lined up for Christian Craig. Because I was looking at the list and I'm like, oh, bro, like Sexton and Barsha and Eli, and they were all in one heat race. I go, oh, boy, all the stars aligned for him on that heat race. But, well, dude, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, brother. Hey, this freaking podcast, like the whole studio, it's fucking sick.
Hey, dude, we're coming along, dude. I got you new, freshly painted, walls.
Looks good.
Yeah, dude.
It's nice and clean.
Nice and clean, dude. We upgraded some lighting, and I got a sound engineer coming in a couple of days. Like I told you, dude, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. And
Love to see it.
I'm a hope one day is to get some bigger names on the show, get some people that want to call in and talk shit, and I'll actually ask them questions that are, like it'd be interesting.
Who's that guy you had on last week?
Who did I have? Oh, okay, so that's my buddy Casey Cromer.
Yeah, what the hell is he doing? Where was he at tonight?
You know what, dude? The problem is he gets nervous, dude. He's new at this.
Oh.
So I had him on, and like I said, I introduced him as the fastest factory novice rider in the fucking game.
Hell yeah.
And we battled it out at LACRJ. He's just a super cool guy. Loves moto, dude. And I just said, hey, man, come in and let's talk some shit and get into it. And then obviously Isabella is like going to be a staple on the show. Her and I are going to do an individual podcast during the week. And she wants to just talk about things in the industry, not about riders, not about how they finish. She wants to just talk about kind of like, I don't know, dude. She wants to dive into some of the shit she doesn't like about the industry as a whole. Like I said, I haven't been around it long enough to understand the insider scoop on things, but she wants to kind of dig into what's going on.
Hey, so East Rutherford, I think that's going to be a shootout race, right?
The East-West shootout. I think
East-West shootout. How is she going to feel whenever she's got to root for Jet and Deegan?
Oh, she'll go with Jet.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's gonna go with Jet.
She's Jet number one.
She's Jet number one.
Straight up.
Yeah, and I told her, I said, look, we got to meet him a few times, and he was very nice and very cordial towards us, and she really enjoyed that. We went to his launch party and stuff, but I think at this point, she's definitely on the Jet train. She does like Deegan, but at the end of the day, she'll be on the Jet train.
Straight up.
So, but.
All right.
Well, dude, thanks again. Everybody, please go to motobookie.com. Check out the app. It's free until May. I was just telling you, we have a large overhaul coming in May. It's getting a whole new facelift. We will have a new wager board that will be far more interactive. You'll be able to see a lot more about what's going on with the bets in live in real time. We're going to be introducing some gnarly new features, and I think people are going to really be stoked on it. So go to motobookie.com. It's free until May. Get on there, start an account, check it out, talk some shit, place some bets. And then we also have another thing, that I told you about. We're gonna start to get into. I want to do some more work to support the privateer portion of the sport. I just feel that they're overlooked, man. And you see, there's a lot of talent there, and they just not being given the opportunity. And if they're not going to be given the opportunity, the sport should rally around them and at least help that financial burden to help these dudes get.
It's expensive to get to the fucking races, man. It's so expensive.
Yeah, and just,
well, put it into perspective, right? So, if some of these guys, privateers, they're not getting any money for their gear, helmets, none of that, right? Like, they're just making straight bonus money, some of them. It costs, let's see, if you're on the cheap side, it's $1,000 per race to get there.
Okay,
that's on the cheap side.
Yeah, that's like shitty motel, shitty rental car.
Yeah. If you have someone hauling your bike, that's anywhere from $850 to $1,000 a weekend just doing that, and then you have to, a mechanic, so you're paying for his mechanic pass, which is $50. And then, that's, you got to pay for food, because you're eating out on the road. You're eating out every meal. And then you got your flight. On the cheap side, you can get anywhere from, I would say $350 to $400. And sometimes, whenever you're flying to, New York or Seattle, like this past weekend, a lot of people, Detroit and also Daytona, those flights can be anywhere from $700 to $1,000. And then on top of that, you have to get 2 to 3 nights in a hotel, which is another $500. God, okay. And then you have $200 for a rental car, And then
so some of those rounds is so $2 to $2,500 just to get there.
Yeah. And then too, they don't. You have to sign up for the race, so the entry fee is $250. $250 for an entry fee. We pay to race, and then in front of all, like, we're the entertainment.
Sold out crowds.
Yeah, we're the entertainment, and we're still paying to race. And then we get what, $1,500 if we don't make the main, $2,000 if we do.
So $2,000 if you make the main event. Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically you gotta get what, top 15 to actually break even?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, like, whenever I was making good money on, like, whenever I was riding for a team, I had like all of my expenses and everything paid for. I had good bonuses. I had to get like 16th, and I was like, okay, like 16th, and I'm like, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was with like a big contingency part and like everything. Like, so like the stars had to align.
So I have a question then, real quick. Why hasn't somebody started? And I know this idea.
It's very frowned upon. I know what you're gonna say. What, the riders union?
Well, maybe not to have a riders union.
Yeah, no.
But why is it frowned upon?
Well, because like the federation, like whenever you sign up for your credential, like there's a part in there to where like you cannot do that, and if you do it, you'll get fucking blackballed, and then they'll fucking pull your credential.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't sell me on that.
No, I won't. But I just don't understand that how a promotional company like Feld or some of these bigger, people in the industry, they're just basically not, unless you're in the top 5 to 8 people. Yeah, you're fucking broke. Like you really can't even make a decent living, but you're selling out.
To do it.
I mean, dude, Supercross is sold out almost every single round.
And there's ways to do it, and a lot of privateers like
but I don't mean sponsorship. I don't.
Yeah.
Listen, you coming up with your own sponsorship and
100%.
you hustling
like
that end of it. I'm talking about. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, basketball. Great. Golden State pays fucking Steph Curry $25 million a year. That's what Golden State is paying him to play.
Yeah.
Because Golden State's getting TV contracts and they're getting ad money. So they're handling all that just like Feld is. So they're giving that money back to Steph Curry to play basketball. Now, his other money that he makes outside is completely irrelevant. If Steph Curry signs a $300 million shoe contract, it's irrelevant to what he's doing from Golden State, what he's getting from Golden State. Mm-hmm. And that's the part that seems to be so frustrating, is of the amount of money they're generating, just giving a small portion of that back to the guys that are 9 to 22 could make such a difference in allowing them to get to the races and continue to have the show. Because let's just say none of you guys showed up and the gate was just the 12 or 13 factory guys, you wouldn't be selling out every race. 100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And it's just interesting the amount of revenue that's coming in, that they can't just throw them a bone and say, hey, privateer riders, yes, Tomac gets, $100,000 for a win. Well, we're going to make sure that everybody that's, everyone that's 15 to 22, you guys each get a guaranteed $5,000 purse. No matter where you finish, you guys get $5,000. So at least if you're 15 to 22, you've covered those expenses.
Yeah.
You can put enough money to at least pay your fucking rent and your cell phone
Straight
bill.
Up.
And then whatever you get from your sponsors and shit, you can actually make a decent living riding a dirt bike and filling these seats at the stadium. Yeah. It wouldn't take a lot of money. No. I mean, we're not talking $20 million a year.
Yeah. And a lot of the top privateers, like, I will say that, like, a lot of the top privateers in the class, like, have figured it out. They all hustle. They all know how to make money, and which is good. I mean, but like, hell, if you have a bad year, you get stuck in a tight spot. You spend your savings, to stay out there.
All right, dude. I like where this is going, but my one thing you have to factor into is, imagine if you didn't have to do all the side circus bullshit and you could actually ride the bike like all the factory guys are. If you weren't spending half of your week making phone calls and sending resumes and begging people to give you fucking money, where you could just lock in and ride the bike, maybe you'd see more fucking factory seats. But when one guy gets up and there's a trainer standing there, and there's a nutritionist standing there, and there's an exercise guy standing there, and there's a boot guy standing there, and the guy's wiping your ass, and he's cleaning your goggles, and he's doing all this shit. Well, all you have to do is get on the bike and ride. Yeah. Where other guys like, oh, fuck, I got to make a YouTube video, and I got to make this, and I got to call my sponsors, and I got to change my graphics, and I got to do this. So, I mean, it feels like the sport has just taken advantage of everybody other than the factory dudes, and there's just no reason for it.
I mean, they've done it for so many years. Money. They've done it for so many years, and it's still working. But why change it, right?
But to some extent, bro, I'm sorry, it's not working, because you hear people say we're the biggest small sport in the world, or we're the smallest big sport in the world, and part of that is because there's no financial future for a lot of people. And it's how do you make Supercross a household sport when you only know 5 or 7 people? Yeah. Right? I don't know, dude. I just feel like.
Yeah. And I think World Supercross is trying to change the game a little bit.
I agree with you.
Yeah. They're trying to change the game.
I don't know how that's going to go. I've heard mixed reviews that they're way in over their head, and they spent way too much money trying to make this happen, and it's going to go belly up, but I hope not.
No. I mean, like I said, I did Melbourne last year, and I really liked it.
Did you get paid to show up?
Yeah. So like they paid the teams. Okay. And the teams sort of outsource however they want to.
So you make an individual deal with the team.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're giving an allotment of money to each team and then letting the team figure out where that money goes.
Yep.
Which, hey, at least they're doing something.
Right? Yeah, they're doing something. I mean, they're giving back to the teams that are sticking their neck out for the series. So I mean, that's good. That says something, you know.
I mean, you got to understand, like, how is it that we go through COVID, and COVID, you sell more dirt bikes in the history of all histories of motocross ever. And then all of a sudden people go, oh, well, there's no money in the sport. How can that be possible? More dirt bikes have been sold in the last 4 or 5 years than probably the previous 20 years.
Yep.
So how can you turn around and tell me
they're
that
even
there's no
selling
money?
The shit out of Suzuki's, man.
Yeah. Well, fucking Kickstart won a race and they sold 1,000 units.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you. I know we went off on a little rant.
Hey, that's all good. That's all good.
Hey, the whole point to that was Motobookie will be coming up with something here soon to support those privateer riders.
Awesome. Dude, I love it. I love it.
Thanks again, bro, for coming in.
Thank you.
Everybody go to motobookie.com. Hey, check us out on Instagram. We're trying to build the Instagram following.
That's good.
It's creeping up slowly, but hey, check us out on Instagram. If you don't even want to get on there and clown me for losing money, I don't care. I'm in it to win it. I'm usually the guy that will fucking take the losing bet only because I like the action. So I'm not going to keep doing that for very long because it's getting expensive. But thank you guys, dude. Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. And we're out.